Well, hi everyone. I'm John Redland with my review of Impact Wrestling Slammiversary 2020 pay-per-view. Now, this is the first Impact Wrestling pay-per-view I have ordered in 3 years, which was 2017 Slammiversary to be exact. And while I watched it pretty much from the beginning, even the weekly pay-per-views, and enjoyed the 04 to 09 era, and even some of the, Hogan Bischoff era and stuff like that, I haven't really kept up on weekly Impact Wrestling religiously in the past few years. Now I've recognized they've had some turmoil, they've had some great talent, they put on some great matches, and they've had some good feuds going. I just haven't had the time because honestly it hasn't really interested me. I lost interest, but I had so much interest from all the hype and everything. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the plunge, put my $40 down, and watch it on Fight TV. So, what I think as a mostly casual viewer of Impact Wrestling. It had its moments. There were some good matches on this pay-per-view, but there was some shit. And I'm going to start with one piece of shit right now, and then I'll get into a few criticisms. But I got some positives to really talk about that I don't think some people will mention. Josh Matthews is bloody fucking rotten on commentary. He is fucking awful. Like, a lot of WWE commentary is stale and staged and so choreographed and everything. And I make fun of Michael Cole a lot, but I will take Michael Cole over Josh Matthews any fucking day of the week. Don Callis to me is no better than he was during his New Japan days doing commentary, but at least he's been in wrestling for a number of years, and I can sort of respect what he's done. Josh, I don't care how long he's been in wrestling, he just sounds so forced and staged, and didn't even know the names of some of the moves, and as a casual viewer, somebody that wanted commentary to bring me into something and be like, hey, tell me this, tell me these stories, I should have known I was in trouble when I remembered, oh yeah, they have Josh Matthews on commentary, so enough of a rant to start that. I wanted to support Chris Bay and the Knockouts. I love Dashing Chris Bay, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. And the Knockouts is a deep division, and they have some talent there. Too bad one of the matches wasn't a great representation of that. So, we get a news, thing talking about the, hype for the returns and everything, and these creepy children talking like who's it going to be, and all that. So, it was what it was. So we have the Rascals. And I want to make one comment about one of the Rascals, Desmond Xavier. He was actually in the main event of a Defy Northwest wrestling show last January. And it was actually kind of funny. He had a great intro, by the way. Had Bohemian Rhapsody as his theme. And at one point they were doing this outside spot, him and the champion at the time, Artemis Spence. And they did the spot where Desmond Xavier literally lands on my lap. And security's yelling at me. It's like, get out of the way. I'm like, I can't. There's like a 180, 190 pound man on me. I can't do that. But it was pretty cool. I didn't get a chance to shake his hand and say, hey, great match, because I was impressed with Desmond Xavier before that, and getting to see him live was really cool. So who did they face? They had an open challenge. The Rascals had an open challenge. Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, one of my favorite tag teams, not just in Impact Wrestling, TNA, whatever you want to say, of that era. One of my favorite tag teams ever. They are a fucking dynamite team. I might put them in my top 25. They were that goddamn good. It was great to see them back. This is a good match. Everybody got in their shot. Desmond is really, really good. This is a nice flow. Really good way to kick off the show. No real awkward spots that I can think of. Everybody, worked well. Rascals were like, they were getting beat down a bit, or they had an advantage at first and then got beat down for a bit after Motor City Machine Guns, that is, decided to take advantage and do all that stuff, and basically kind of play up being the experience, the old TNA guard, if you will, even though they teamed up in other places. And it was good. They hit a move called the Dirt Bomb 1, 2, 3. And then Josh and Don kill time and billboard the rest of the card. Now, I'm going to say this much. Impact Wrestling has been known to have production issues. And they had some production issues. Some video packages and stuff like that. And a few audio issues. I'm not going to make as much fun of it as other people. I'm going to say that for a live pay-per-view and for a skeleton crew, these mistakes will happen. But for a company that has been around this long, it seems like they're snake bit and this shit always happens. That being said, I don't think it necessarily took away from the show. It was noticeable, but let's be perfectly honest. It's great for any wrestling company, Impact, WWE, AEW, New Japan, whatever, to be providing us wrestling during these trying times. I do want to also say quickly, I hope you all are taking care of yourself in this trying time and staying as safe as possible. Wear your damn mask, by the way. But then we get a match that just was not good. Tommy Dreamer comes out with a Moose Sucks Egg shirt, channeling when I believe Terry Funk wore a shirt saying Dusty Sucks Eggs, which was kind of nice. It's Moose, the wrestling god, which, well, Moose really was, Moose is just not a good guy. He's just not really good at all. He was chasing his glory here. And man, he is a rancid individual. And if you get any of that stuff, you understand. Let me just say as much really quickly about Moose before I get to this match. People can defend their friends all they damn well want. There is a certain line you don't cross. And a guy chasing rants, and if you know that name, you know who I'm fucking talking about. A guy that apparently still is allowed to be in wrestling and run a dojo, run a training school, where he is allowed to work in wrestling, especially with underage students, despite what he fucking did, and you know what he fucking did. Moose decides to be a jackass and defend the fact that people are training in this thing or whatever. Not even talk about what Rance is, a rancid individual. No, he decides to just be a jackass. So you know what? Fuck Moose. Don't really care what happens to the guy. And he's fine, I guess, in the ring. He hits a decent spear, but he's very bland. And he faces Tommy Dreamer, and I love Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer should not be wrestling on pay-per-view in 2020. Tommy Dreamer shouldn't be wrestling in 2020. He's beat up. He shouldn't even been wrestling much past 2010. Because he beat up his body so damn much. He's near 50, but his body is like 70. And I know he loves wrestling, but this just wasn't good. There was, a bunch of weapons because it was an old school rules match. Uranagi onto some chairs. Standing moose salt, if you will. Shout out to Max Wrestling WA for what he said about, the pedo moon salt. Bravo there, Max. Sorry if you didn't want me to, mention that there, but I love you, Max. I really appreciate you doing that. Standing up for the good people in wrestling. And then Dreamer pours out some tacks and then gets tacks in his eyes. Ow, my eye. I'm not supposed to get tacks in them. Now we get a spear for 3. This match was rotten. This match was bloody fucking rotten. Johnny Swinger is then, around still. And grabbed a Jaguar that was under the name of Anderson. And he grabbed Karl Anderson's Jaguar, that is. And now we get to a match that I was looking forward to until it started. Taya Valkyrie, Susie, Sue Young, but, all innocent and everything. Rosemary, Havoc, Tasha Steeles, who used to be on NWA Power. Madison Rayne, Kylie Ray, smiling Kylie Ray. Kimberly, who actually got to meet at an indie show, really, really nice, and congrats to her on being sober for so long. Alicia Edwards, Eddie Edwards' wife, if you don't know. Nevaeh, Kira Hogan. And there were others here too, I'm sure. If I missed any of these names when I listened to them, I apologize. This match should have been good because you're highlighting some, talent in the Knockouts division, which, by the way, this whole WWE Women's Revolution thing that they talked about in 2015 started in 2007 when the Knockouts division happened. Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, Roxy Laveau. And even though I don't really care for them as people, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, they and others really worked hard. Even Christy Hemme for a few months before she unfortunately had that untimely neck injury and then decided to be a ring announcer. Shame because she actually seemed to improve in the ring. The whole point is the Knockouts division had some good stuff, and you had Jacqueline still there. Jacqueline and Gail Kim had a great match at Lockdown 2007 before the Knockouts division was, born. But Gail Kim and Awesome Kong, all the stuff and everything, and all the women they've had throughout the years. And they got some good women in this match. And they got some women also that maybe, are here and there in the ring. But you can have a good mix and everything, and you can make things work. Well, guess what didn't work in this match? The match itself. This was not good. And I'm sorry to any of the fans of the women here, because I'm not saying they can't work, because I know they can work. Taya Valkyrie, sorry, my first indie show. I know she can work, and I know many of these other women can. This just wasn't good. It was badly paced. It told a good story of Kylie Ray trying to overcome the odds and everything, starting at the beginning, because it was Kylie Ray and Tasha Steeles starting out. And then this Johnny Bravo guy, not the cartoon character, who was talking to Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary backstage before the second match in a video thing. Taya's like, well, hey, you need to do right by me. You need to help us out, everything. They tried to have him pull the 3 Faces of Foley thing, basically, in the 98 Rumble. And it wasn't very good. And I don't know who this Johnny Bravo guy is, but he's less animated than, a still image of the animated Johnny Bravo. And if you like that cartoon, I love you guys. So, it sounds like I'm being negative about this, but I really do have some positives about this show. Johnny Bravo comes out as Taya at 3 and gets eliminated quickly. Kimberly comes in. Kira Hogan in at 5. Susie in at 6. Katie Forbes. Okay, I'm just going to say really quickly that I don't care what anybody does to their body. I don't care what anybody does. It's your business, your life. It's your life. Don't you forget. It's your life. It never ends. If you got that song in your head, I love you guys. But I don't know what that is. I don't know what she was doing. That was some of that made Sable seem like a world beater in the goddamn ring. That is bloody fucking rotten. Never feature whatever Katie Forbes is in the ring again. You want to feature her outside the ring? Fine. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care what you do. But I have seen some women that can't wrestle, and I've seen plenty of men, plenty more men that can't wrestle. She is not ready to ever be in the ring. Never put her in the fucking ring. And I mean, I believe she's RVD's girlfriend or wife or whatever, so is what it is. I'm happy for them. Just don't put her in the goddamn... That was fucking horrible. Horrible. Why the fuck was she allowed in a goddamn ring? My God. That set women's wrestling back in Impact Wrestling at least 5 years, if not 10. Madison Rayne comes in at 8. Poor Madison having to be with Josh Matthews. Good God. But, you know what? If Madison's happy, that's what matters. So, Havoc in at 9. Taya in at 10. Alicia Edwards in at 11. Nevaeh in at 12. Rosemary in at 13. And then another Rosemary, which is Johnny Bravo, trying to stop this whole thing of Taya and Rosemary fighting because they have an uneasy alliance. And then it comes down to Kylie, Rosemary, and Taya, because everybody, Rosemary and Time, if you will. And then Taya and Kylie. And then Destroyer and a super kick. A super kick actually, led to a win. Amazing. Smiling Kylie Ray gets the victory. That match should have been really good and just was messy. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because I like a lot of those women. Except Katie Forbes. Never feature whatever the fuck that is again. Good God. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing for any low-level indie show, high-level indie show, any company. That was embarrassing. That was like watching the Great Khali try to move in the ring. Except the Great Khali had size, and you at least had a country full of people behind him. So anyway, Slater then comes in suddenly. You people, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. It's kind of like the Scott Hall thing, except there's no fans. And I understand why there's no fans. And bless Impact for making the best of the situation. But very bad audio. This is the one thing where I kind of question, how could you not have adjusted the mics? That happens, but it kind of cut out a lot of what he did. Now, he was talking, he's free agent, da-da-da-da. And then someone called Rohit something or other. Again, not that familiar. I'm not knocking the guy. He's one of these where it's like, well, if you guys keep coming in, where does that leave me? He tries to attack him. He does mention something about how Heat's last world title match didn't last very long when Drew McIntyre pinned him on a recent Raw, the last appearance of Slater. And then Slater does like some kind of move and everything. And then we get Dashing Chris Bay versus Willie Mack for the X Division Championship. Thank God a wrestling match broke out. One, I love the Black Lives Matter hashtag that Willie Mack had on his vest. Black lives do matter. You can say all lives matter all you want, but until Black Lives Matter, all lives don't matter, you fucking idiots. Off my soapbox. So anyway, he also had weird dragon or lizard contacts. It was very odd. I have seen Chris Bay as the Without a Cause world champion at, Without a Cause local promotion just about 20 miles south of me. And I met him. The guy, one, super humble, very, very good in the ring. He makes everything look easy. He works hard, whether he's in front of 200 people, 500 people, no people. It doesn't matter. He is just that goddamn good. And he's only 23, 24. He is fucking phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal in the ring. This was good shit, though. I really enjoyed this stuff. They did a lot of counters. Willie Mack's ridiculous. Been ridiculous for a number of years since he was in Lucha Underground. And some of the stuff he did in the NWA. Some great high-flying stuff from both men, especially Willie Mack, who's a big man but can move so goddamn well, and Chris Bay doing great shit. Very awkward ref bump, though, near the end there, so I'm not going to go through all the moves. And then Art of Finesse, cutter off the ropes, 1, 2, 3, new X Division champion, Dashing Chris Bay, as he deserves. And I can't wait to see what else he does. Like, really, Chris Bay is fucking phenomenal. Now, I will say right now, before I continue, No, I'm not going to watch Weekly Impact. One, I don't have Access TV on my cable package. And even if I did, I don't have the time. I work late on Tuesdays, and I do not have the time to DVR, check that stuff out. If you take a look at my video catalog, you realize that even without, some of the weekly reviews, I review so much retro stuff. I just have I don't have enough interest in Impact Wrestling. But I want to say to all the Impact Wrestling fans, and sorry, been losing my voice for the past couple days. Apologies. What I want to say to every single one of you guys is I hope that you enjoyed this pay-per-view. Because realistically, Impact Wrestling deserves its fans. You guys should continue to support them. And if you guys love this pay-per-view, I'm so happy for you. I'm not saying I necessarily felt like I wasted $40, but was it a great pay-per-view? Did I feel like, holy shit, I'm so happy? Is what it is. But there were some good moments. Like, I'm happy I paid to watch this match. This match was well worth it. So, we then have Slater and Rhino talking backstage, renewing that, team. And then Scott D'Amore shows up and says, well, hey, it's a closed set, Slater. You're a free agent. You don't have a contract. You got to leave. Rhino says, hey, when you come next time, let me know, and I will make sure to get you here. So, I'm going to make sure to get you inside. So anyway, the producer's being very vocal, by the way. Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan versus the North, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander. Impact Tag Team Championship match. Oh boy! I love Ken Shamrock. I really fucking love Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock should not have been in this match. He looked lost. Now, Ken Shamrock is still the bearer of the two workers on his team because Sami Callihan's bloody fucking rotten. The North, Josh Alexander is very, very good. Ethan Page is also very good. It has moments, but Ken also looked really fucking lost. He looked really lost. He did a dive at one point. There was this dueling ankle lock thing that was actually pretty nice. But he did a dive and just fucking splatted. Ken's in his mid-50s. And he's in phenomenal shape. He should not be diving. And then we get, the North hitting some front buster. I don't actually know what they call it. Josh Matthews. That move wins it. That's the call of 2020. That's Impact Wrestling. That's Josh Matthews' Impact Wrestling run in a nutshell. That move wins it. That's who you're fucking paying to be your top, guy, your top announcer. My fucking God, your play-by-play guy. That move wins it. This match was okay in parts, but Ken looking lost was very sad for me to see. Sami is not very good. I like the North. They're a very good team. Them retaining makes sense because the Motor City Machine Guns come out and say, hey, we have a match with you guys on Tuesday for these championships. So cool. We get that. Awesome. So I'm not going to watch it, but I hope you guys enjoy it. So, we get Rich Swann on crutches. And he says he would love to have a crack at the Impact World Championship. But I guess he's been on crutches because he had some kind of knee or ankle injury. Rich Swann kind of lost my respect a couple years ago. We all know why. But, oh well, if him and his wife are happy, then good for them. Jordynne Grace versus Deonna Purrazzo. This is for the Impact Knockouts Championship. And this is not mocking. Bravo, ladies. Good shit. Really enjoyed it. I really liked this. I really liked it because it was Jordynne Grace's power and everything. And she's so young. Deonna's so young. Both are so goddamn good. Deonna kept going after the shoulder. Because she does Fujiwara armbar. And there was one point, though, where there was this bad landing. This bad landing from a Michinoku driver. Looked like Deonna got spiked. Thankfully, she didn't. But it was like, Jordynne Grace's shoulder hurts. After these three moves, and then Josh pauses and then tells what the moves are, even though we just fucking saw what the moves were. There's a time to call the moves, Josh, and then there's a time to shut the fuck up. And if somebody had muted Josh's mic, we would have been. But this show would have been fine with no commentary. Honestly, I don't. At this point, the stories could have been told in the ring because Josh didn't add anything to it. So, after it looked like Jordynne might get the victory, suddenly, Fujiwara armbar, and then the double move. Deonna snapping the arm back, gets both arms trapped, and Jordynne taps out. Deonna Purrazzo only coming in very recently in the last few weeks? Maybe the last couple months? And she's suddenly Impact Knockouts champion? Cool. It's a bit odd because, and I know the global pandemic bullshit has thrown a lot of plans out, so I don't know what the plans initially would have been for Jordynne Grace. I'm just surprised after chasing Taya Valkyrie for a bit and winning it in, I believe, February, that she lost it so soon. So, now we get to the big main event. Trey, who I'm not familiar with, but apparently I guess he's part of the Rascals. Ace Austin, who I had heard a lot of, and I'm calling him Emo Gambit from now on, because that's what he reminds me of. He had Madman Fulton, who used to be in NXT. Eddie Edwards, who I met at an indie show earlier this year, or was it last year? At some point, I met him in the last number of months. Really, really nice guy. And so we're wondering, it's a 3-way, it's a 4-way because there's a mystery opponent, and it's Rich Swann. He's actually not injured, and well, that was a popcorn fart. But wait, there's somebody else. It's in a hockey mask. Jason Voorhees? No, it's Eric Young. I like Eric Young, and he always fit better in Impact, but given the people that they were like hyping and everything, you're like, oh, really? That's it. And nothing against Eric Young. I like Eric Young, but that just fell kind of flat. And this match they couldn't deliver on the big hype because everybody was speculating, doing all this stuff. So I'm not going to knock the work of these guys, but I didn't really like this match. It was okay. It was for the vacant Impact World Championship. Since Tessa Blanchard, spit on the legacy of Impact. I mean, we all know what happens when she spits because she likes to engage the audience like only she can. Tessa Blanchard needs to either apologize for what she did a number of years ago, not run away from it and show that she's changed, or she deserves to be blacklisted. It'd be ironic if she was blacklisted given how she feels about them and how she's treated them. But yeah, Tessa Blanchard maybe should not have her dad's attitude and realize that, hey, wrestling doesn't need her, she needs wrestling. I'm just saying. Just a brief rant there. So, this was kind of messy though. EY was bleeding, and actually bleeding kind of bad at some points. The match, when it picked up, when the pace was good, actually had some good moments. There was some good storytelling. Trey and Ace, having some good stuff. Eddie and Ace, who had a history and everything. And Eric Young, being a former TNA original. And being severely underutilized in NXT. That was actually my most disappointing thing. But it led basically to Trey getting eliminated by EY. And then Ace and Eddie go through the timekeeper's table. And then Swann hits the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling, surprise roll-up on Eric Young. Eric Young's upset, puts a surgically repaired knee in a chair on his knee, beats shit out of him and everything. And Swann keeps fighting, but then eventually falls to Ace's finisher. Well, Austin's finisher, but I don't want to make it seem like Austin Aries. God, I hope they don't bring him back. But Ace hits his finisher. There we go. It's down to Ace and Eddie. And it's like Ace, Ed, and Eddie. There we go. That'd be a different show. Eddie wins. He's a new Impact World Champion. And then the Fulton guy shows up. And then the Good Brothers show up and they help Eddie. And then suddenly, 3 hash marks. And EC3 throws something at the wall and that's it. It's the end of the show. It wasn't a waste of my money, but it was a mixed bag. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.